Okay.
Let me go to the handy dandy. Where is my test? There it is. Okay, I'm not going to answer the bonus questions for you, but now there's 16 questions. So what's 16 from 31? 15? So that means you got 15 math questions. Now that's not too bad. All right, here we go. All right, there's the first one. I'll write it on the board. And of course, my whiteboard's not up. I don't know why it's not up. There we go. I'll write it down for some of y'all that can't see, because you're sitting at the back of the room.
I'm just old.
Is that what it is? You're old and country, ain't you?
That's right.
I know, she's always like this.
Well, at least she's trying. All right, here we go. 9 times x plus 3 minus 23 is less than or equal to 6x plus 7. And Miss Woodward and Mr. Fuller, I may go over some of your questions today when I do these problems. I don't know. I may. Now, first of all, what should everybody take your highlighter out and highlight right now?
Greater than or equal?
Integer.
Or the integer.
Yeah.
Integer means that this one is not your answer, and this one is not your answer. Because integer means what? I heard blah.
Dots.
Blah. Blah. What is blah? Blah, 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 blah. She said dots, and that is true. But as far as numbers, what does integer mean? Whole numbers. So that means that you can't include fractions and what? Decimals. So these guys don't work. So at least if you don't have any clue what you're doing in this class, what kind of shot you got at getting this one right? 50-50. It's either Charlie or Delta. So let's go ahead and do it. I'm going to distribute, and that's 9x plus 27 minus 23 less than or equal to 6x plus 7. And I take my handy dandy blue, and I've got $27. I owe $23. What's the outcome of having $27 and owing $23?
4.
What 4? Do you owe 4 or do you have 4?
You have 4.
You
have 4. I'm not used to having money because I'm the opposite. Mine is usually I owe 27, I have 23. So 9x plus 4 is less than or equal to 6x plus 7. Now we're going to focus on the x because that's all we care about. Which one's smaller, 9x or 6x? So I'm going to take 6x across the river. So I want to keep the variable positive. Take the 4 across the river. I don't care about the number. All I want is the x to be positive. And that gives me 3x is less than or equal to 3. X is equal to what?
1.
X is equal to 1. Or not, x is less than or equal to 1. Now, less than or equal to means a colored what? A colored circle, Hubert. Thank you, class. And what numbers are less than 1?
0.
Left or right?
Left.
Left. So that's your answer. So which one? I'm sorry. I just shaded because I'm not used to doing integers. Hold on. There we go. So take your handy dandy highlighter, and instead of a shaded line, and then make sure you put these 3 dots right there, because that means all the others. Or you can't highlight the arrow, because if you highlight the arrow, you're including what? Fractions and decimals. So that's why you have to put these 3 dots, because that tells the reader Okay, not all numbers, but all what? Whole numbers. That's what those three little dots mean. And that's your answer. So now you take your handy dandy cursor and you click on that one. Well, I just think I should just quit. There we go. And hit check answer so you can feel good about yourself.
Score 100. Oh, it doesn't.
That means, no, that's for me. That's this is the teacher's edition. All right, let me clear this off. Now I'm singing that song, thank you.
What song?
Redneck Girls.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Well, why don't you look it up? You look up everything else on your phone while I'm teaching. Why don't you look that up? 8x plus 5 is greater than or equal to 13. Okay, let's take our highlighter out. What is our highlighter going to highlight this time?
Real number.
That means a shaded line. So all of these could be your answer. Can somebody take two of them off right quick? Yes. I'm going to take my handy dandy highlighter and I'm going to highlight this next. So that means that our possible answers are what?
Close. Circle. I mean, over.
No, give me the letters. What possible answers? A and what? B. So that means we can mark off Charlie and Delta. Why are we marking off Charlie and Delta? Because they have a what? An open circle, and an open circle does not go with an equal sign. So you see in a pattern to these questions, you should be able to knock one or two of them off just by what? Your rules. So, is X positive?
Yes.
Yes. So all you need to do is get rid of the 5, take it across the river, and you get 8x is greater than or equal to 8, and x is greater than or equal to. So which one, what is greater than? To the left or to the right? To the right. So somebody tell me what my answer is. Bravo. And you feel good about yourself. Now, didn't I tell you that a lot of your questions on this test was going to come from 6.5 and 6.3? So far, both of your questions that we've started on have come from 6.3. Not supposed to bunch them up like that. Oh yeah, here's the word problem. What are you supposed to do on a word problem?
Quit.
Skip it. There you go. Quit. I'm going to let y'all do this one.
Oh.
Ernie, as in Bert and Ernie, deposit $45.50 at 6% for 1 year. How much interest will he earn? Again, this is not a good question. I didn't know it was on here. But it is, it looks like to me, it's compound interest. They should put that in the problem. I think I told y'all that when we did this in class. So I'm going to do compound interest. A, that irritates me. I hate when it does that. A is equal to P times 1 plus R over N raised to the what? NT power. Now we did a couple of these in class. Capiche? Yes or no?
Kaposh.
Yes.
We did. So don't act like you never seen it before. So what is our principle? That's not rhetorical. I'm asking y'all to interact with me. Principal is what you put in. Remember I told you, remember the P? Principal is what you put in. What are you putting in?
4550.
So that's 4550. 1 plus, what's my rate?
6%.
6%, which I cannot put in 6%. I have to write it what?
At the decimal.
0.06. Remember, you got to move the decimal 2 places. And what is N?
1.
No.
No, they don't put it in here. Let's see, for 1 year. I don't know what they're. I don't like this question. Usually N is 12. 12 times 1 year.
Oh, just 12
Monthly.
months a year.
Yeah, there's 12 months in a year.
That makes sense.
But they don't tell you enough of this information in the problem, and I like the problem, but I don't like the way they worded it. First of all, they need to tell you compound interest, because there's compound interest, simple interest, and continuous interest. And they're not giving you anything to go on here. And that's equal to, now I'm going to take my handy dandy calculator out.
Thank you.
What?
Best friend.
Okay, I didn't hear that, because an inanimate object should not be your best friend, because that tells you that you're not confident in your own self. So, you need to reword that. I'm going to take my handy dandy calculator and get rid of this and try to do it. Okay, here we go. Work your way inside what?
Out.
Out. 0.06. Turn it on. It's hard to do this with a mouse. 0.06 divided by 12 equals. And what am I going to add that to? Add to 1. And what am I going to raise that to? 12th power. Now you can do 12 times 1 in your calculator, I would hope. I mean, in your head.
She's the one that said that.
Times, what's the, I can't read it. What's it say?
4550.
4550. So multiplied by 4550. Now, if they are assuming that it's continuous, not continuous, compound, and they are assuming that it's 12 months, they're not assuming that in any of the questions. I'm going to write 4830, 63. 4830,
No.
63. Now that's the balance. That's right here. 48, 30, 63. Now somebody subtract the principal from that.
286.
Hold on, let me write it right here so you'll know. 48, 30. What is that squeaking noise? I keep hearing a squeaking noise.
Hearing things.
Okay. Just give me a walker or a wheelchair. What is it? 45, 50?
Yeah.
Oh, it's your echo.
Okay. Divided by, subtraction. What do you get? Somebody tell me what you got.
I said 286.
280.63 is the interest. Now let's see if my assumptions are correct, because their question does not tell me what they want. So let's see what happens. I'm going to put 280.63 and then 4830.63 and check answer. Okay, they're not doing that. So do this. Change the N to 1 year. Let's try that, because they're not telling you if it's compounded. And then, if it doesn't work then, we're going to have to try simple interest, which I don't think we've even done, but you can do it with the Walmart equation. So let's try it with N is equal to 1. I'm going to change N to 1 going to be 1.06. So somebody do, I'll do it.
4823.
I'm sorry, what?
4823.
4823? Even? 4823.00? Did everybody get that? And then put it up here, that's 4823.00. Now subtract it, and what do you get here?
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah,
273, what?
273.
273, and let's see if that's what they want, because they're not being very, and when I get through with the problem and I get it right, I'll tell you what they're asking, because they're not asking you in the problem. They're being very vague. So this would be 273, and this would be 4823. Check answer. That's it. So, what they should be writing, and I want you to write this down. P is equal to 40. First of all, it's compound interest. Okay, so out of all the interest formulas, compound interest, and they should give you the formula, but they don't. So here's the formula. So write it down in your notebook, which it's already in your notebook. P is equal to 4550. R is equal to 0.06. N is equal to 1. And T is equal to 1. Now, how do I know that? This says at the end of 1 year. Now there is nothing in the problem, unless y'all see a word monthly or something, there's nothing in the problem that says what N is equal to. I don't know where they get N is equal to 1 in this problem. So you're just going to have to make N equal to 1. Because the problems that you see in the real world, they always give you an N. So I guess they're saying if N is not classified, you say N is equal to 1. Does that make sense? That means at the end of every year, since N is equal to 1, the computer will calculate your interest. If it was 12, that means the calculator computes your interest every what? Month. If it was 6, that means that or 0.5, that would mean that your interest is calculated every 6 months, which is a half a year. Does everybody see what I mean there? So N, I'm going to write this down for your knowledge. N is equal to the number of months compounded in the bank. In other words, compounded means calculated. So 1 year would be yearly. If N is equal to 2, that would be semi-annually. If it was equal to 4, that would be quarterly. If it was equal to 12, that would be monthly. Everybody see? Okay, hopefully it's a good question, but they don't give you enough information. They're assuming, since they did not say what N is, that you put in what? 1. Later on, if you take my 103, we do that in 103, and you actually put in 12, or you put in 4, or you put in, and it changes. I'll shut up. That may be questions y'all sent for homework. I don't know. Next. All right, solve the equation. This is 6.1, I think. What did I say, 6.3 and 6.5? Yeah, this is 6.3, I think, or whatever the algebra section is. 5n plus 35 is equal to 45. Take the 35 across the river. 5n is equal to 10. N is equal to what? 2. Now remember, what if you get an untrue statement? It's in your notes. What if you get an untrue statement? No solution. What if you get a true statement? All real numbers. Now that's in your notes. And this thing regenerates questions. So you may get one that doesn't come out to be true. It either comes out to be true or false. It doesn't come out to be a number. So you have to watch that.
Is it a true statement? I want to try 0 equals 0.
Yeah, 0 equals 0, 5 is equal to 5. I gave you 3 or 4 examples in the notes. All right, let's do this one. First of all, this is the slope formula for those of you that might want to know. Slope is equal to y sub 2 minus y sub 1 equals x sub 2 minus x sub 1. For those of you that might be taking a class in the future, that's what slope is. Slope is m. Slope is equal to the change in y, delta y, over delta x. And that's the formula. Change in y over the change in x. So all I do is I go m is equal to parentheses minus parentheses over parentheses minus parentheses. Now, if you walk up into my class, in my office, 10 years from now, and you say, Hubert, I've got this question that I'm helping my whatever with, and it's find the slope. How do you do that? You will see me write those parentheses. And I've got 3 degrees, 3.5 really. 3.5 degrees, and I still use parentheses. So what does that mean you should be using? Parentheses. Why? Because sometimes you're going to get a negative, and sometimes you're going to get a fraction. And you better use those parentheses because nobody is what? Perfect. And you're going to make a mistake. So, what goes in the y sub 2 spot?
15.
15. What goes in the y sub 1 spot?
21.
So that one's okay because you don't have anything crazy. You don't have a negative, you don't have a fraction, so you're okay there. What about x sub 2?
Negative 27.
There's a negative. Negative 27 and 21. So what is 15 minus 21? Negative 6. Be careful here. What is negative 27 minus 21?
48. Negative 48.
Negative 48. I guarantee you somebody might say, oh, that's a negative 6 or 6. That's why you have to make sure you have those parentheses. And 6 over 48 is 1 what? 1/3. No, I'm sorry.
1/8.
1/8. So type in 1/8, then you feel good about yourself. Next thing we highlight is what? The inequality. That means a what? An open circle. Okay, open circle with dots means that you're not on the answer. So we'll get to that in just a second. Okay, so where is my, there we go. So let's go ahead and do this one. Is -4 less than -2x minus 6. I'm going to take that 2x, what?
Cross the river.
And that gives me 2x minus 4 is less than -6. Take the 4 across the river, and 2x is less than negative what? 2. And divide by 2, x is less than what? negative 1. So that means at negative 1, we can't put a open circle there because that would include 1.001 and negative 1.002 or whatever. We can't do that. So when you have this with an integer, there's no dot at all on the number, at all. So that means it's got to be one of these two. So which numbers are less than negative 1?
D.
Delta. Yep. So delta is your answer. And next. Nope. Okay, how do you clear a fraction?
Multiply by the, I don't know.
Okay, I'm going, first of all, I'm going to move the negative x over 2 to the other side. So that's going to give me negative 5 is less than or equal, is greater than or equal to x over what? 2. Because I want to make my variable what? Positive. So now I multiply both sides by 2. And that gives me x is less than or equal to negative what? 10. So let's go ahead and take our highlighter out. What does that say?
Real number.
So that means a line. So that one goes out and that one goes out. So what does this mean? What is the
Closed circle.
closed circle? We've got closed circles on both. So that means we've got to look at the answer. What numbers are less than negative 10? Alpha. And you feel good about yourself. Next. 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 Next.
Thank you.
Evaluate. What does evaluate mean?
So.
Plug and what?
Oh. Still the same. Still solid.
People that don't listen get the answers wrong.
Yeah, I would have looked at it.
Negative 15. And what's negative 3 times negative 15? 45, Hubert. And what's 45 minus 2?
43.
Well, I'm glad you didn't have to put that in a calculator.
Put it in my fingers.
So type in 43 and you should get the answer. What?
I said 5, 3.
When you see your math teachers, your past math teachers, you ought to go up and tell them that they didn't do you any good.
Do it. Squat, do.
Or you didn't listen. Which I don't know if that second part probably wasn't true. Because you don't listen to me. All right, next. 2 times 3x minus 3 less than 3 times 2x minus 3. I think you're going to see this one come out to be strange.
On real numbers.
What does this say? Thank you. Real numbers. So which one? Okay, there's no dots. So I can't take those out. So there's no dots. So let's look at this. That means I can't have a closed circle. So closed circles out. Closed circles out. Any other closed circles? Nope. Okay, now we got to solve it. So when we solve it, you're going to get something funky. What's 2 times 3?
6.
6x minus 6 less than 6x. Oh, shoot. Yeah, we're going to get something funky. And what happens to the 6x's?
Cancel out.
Okay, and we get negative 9, negative 6. Be careful here. Don't jump the gun. Now, ask yourself one thing. What's better to have in your bank account? Negative $900 or negative $600?
-6.
600.
So negative 600 is greater. So which is greater? Negative 6. So this is a what statement? This is untrue.
So it's
What does untrue mean?
No.
No solution. Which one shows no solution?
D.
D is in delta.
She said,
What? All right, next. Next. All right, solve the equation for n. What? Next.
"Oh, that's out."
What?
Solve for n, so you're gonna subtract the a to the y.
Solve the equation for n. So that means we're going to do y is equal to nx plus a. And I'm going to subtract, we're going to solve for n, so I got to get rid of a. Y minus a is equal to nx
So divide by
divided by x. So y minus a over x. So you got to type that one in. So that's going to be y minus a. Y. Well, that squeaky noise is getting on my nerves. Y minus a over x. What is so funny?
I don't know.
Good gracious. Next.
I can't stop laughing.
What are you laughing about?
I don't know.
All right, this one.
Oh God.
Real number.
X minus a is less than negative 4.
No, it was not.
X minus a is less than negative 4. Is the variable positive? Positive 8. So x is less than 4. And of course, real number, which means a line. And this is an open circle. So the closed circles can go away. And these, that's no solution. So what number is less than, which one is less than 4? Charlie?
Let's see. What do you mean?
That's it. Now, next one. 25. Okay, I've done that one. We've done this one. We've done like 3 of those. I'm not going to do that one. Okay. D minus 3. Okay, if you miss this one, don't what?
Don't come to class.
Don't tell anybody. Somebody, you owe $14, you have $3, you owe 11. So the answer should be 11. Negative 11.
Ooh, you would have got it wrong.
Next. I'm going to kick you out of this class. All right, there's your joint variation. I told you there'd be one on there, so I'm going to let you do this one.
Christ.
Miss Cowan, did you text me? Huh? Then there must be another Cowan. Somebody texted me, said they were coming after class. I thought that was you. Huh? You know, I send out emails to people. What do y'all do with them?
Throw in the trash.
I'm thinking y'all do, because that's all right. When you do it at your job, what's going to happen?
Get fired.
You're going to get fired. So just keep up that practice. Just keep it
I
up.
don't even delete any of the emails.
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about students in general. I'm not talking about y'all. I'm saying other students that I send emails to.
He's rude.
Sending that email every day.
Every freaking day.
Okay, we get it.
And
Who gets emailed every day?
Us
The
from the
rep from
TCCC.
Swoop.
Talking about
Did he text
Southern,
you?
Western. Does it have a person?
I'm looking for your text right. I'm looking.
yeah, he texted me the other day and was like, "Hi, this is Caleb. I will be at the panel today. At the campus to go to."
Y'all must be getting some kind of, they must be getting some kind of sponsoring deal. It's not to make them send us.
She hadn't emailed me yet.
Every day.
All right, here we go. So, Z varies jointly as W and Y. So what's our joint variation? Y is equal to K X what?
Z.
Z.
I was doing it right. Thank y'all.
So now, excuse me, which one comes first? We read from left to right. So Z will be replaced with what? Y, or Y will be replaced with Z. Which one never changes?
Okay.
X will be replaced with W, or if you're not from around here, W.
W.
If you're from around here, it's W.
I say W.
W. D-U-B-Y-A. All right, and Z will be changed to capital Y. Shut up, Hubert. All right, so
What?
I'm just bad. All right, Z is equal to 160. W is equal to 5. And Y is equal to what? And no, you do not need a calculator for this, because what is 5 times 8?
40.
So divide by 40. Divide by 40. I'm going to show you a trick I learned in the war. What will those zeros do?
Cancel.
Oh my gosh. And what is 16 divided by 4? So 4 is equal to K. Now what are we going to do with that 4?
Plug it in. Plug and chug.
Back substitute. So now our new formula is Z equal to, I'm going to put that 4 in red because I like being animated and helping y'all out.
17.
W Y.
Okay, can I use the calculator?
Okay, now, just hold on a minute. Quit depending on that calculator. Now what do they say?
77.
Okay, I'll give you a trick. 7 times 7 is 49, and you add a 0. Okay, so Z is equal to 4 times 70 times 7, and Z is equal to 4 times 490, and Z is equal to 1960? Somebody check me.
We can't use our calculators though.
Well, you know, you can go out here and go 490 times 4 and do it by hand.
1960.
Y'all want to start a revolution? Y'all can't even start a lawnmower. He gets it. You ain't ever heard that? Hey, I'm good.
No, I heard it. I've heard it before. I just, I didn't expect you to say it.
Z is equal to KWY, and I got what, 1960? And check answer. Last one. Oh, I ended with an easy problem.
They said there's 15 of them.
What? I guarantee you somebody will still fail this test.
Probably me.
Yeah.
Whitney and Shane.
Oh my goodness.
What's 4x? That's 4x plus 16 equals 4x plus 6 plus 10. 4x plus 16 equals 4x plus what? And what is this?
What?
It's all.
True statement, Hubert. Yes, this is a true statement. Therefore, all what?
Real numbers.
All real numbers.
Still be 0 equals 0.
And you feel good about yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, now, we just did the test, so now you can work on the test over the weekend if you want to, or you can work on the homework. Monday, we'll go over nothing but questions. Everybody got it?
Okay.
All right, y'all get out of here and have a good weekend.
I have a question. Wasn't
Yes.
the 6.5 homework due tonight?
It's due Monday. I just said it.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Ask questions.
I thought previously you had said it was due tonight. That's why I asked.
Yeah, no, I don't think I said it due tonight. I might.
Okay,
I
that's
don't
fine.
think so. I only do that to you. I don't do that to the other people. All right, y'all have a good weekend.
Thank you.
Bye, Miss Woodward. Okay, she done hung up on me. All right, y'all get out of here. Have a good day.
2 minutes.
All right. Well, then I need to keep y'all then.
Has she emailed you?
No, I look. She hadn't emailed me yet.
Well,
I'll text me and I'll text you
I
back.
don't know your number.
Well,
I got it in my.
that's about. I cannot believe that you said that.
Well, no, I have it on my paper on my computer.
Yeah, you'd actually have to look it
No,
up,
print
wouldn't
it
you?
out, so you know. What are you doing?
About to go up in the campus, make sure they don't drop my phone.
I was trying to get something.
Oh.
So I don't have to get out my book bag again.
Yeah, I don't see. She hadn't